A while back, a friend of mine asked me, "Hey, Brad, with everything that you know about investing with apartments and stocks and all that, how would you invest if you had all that knowledge and you were 25 years old?" So, Eric, thanks for asking me that question. This video is for people in their 20s and maybe late teens. But spoiler, it works for people most any age. Hey, everyone, my name is Brad Reed. I would like to encourage you to be good. And by good, I mean get out of debt, achieve your financial dreams, and give generously to your community. How to achieve financial freedom. That's what a lot of us are going for. Financial freedom, I define it as your money is growing faster than you spend it. If you want to reach out to me, my email address is bradreed@winwinfinancialsolutions.com. Or if you scan this QR code in the bottom right, you can get on my list and it'll send me a little message and we can set up a meeting, whether you want to talk about apartment, investing, or I'm also a residential realtor in the state of Indiana. If you want to buy or sell a house, use that QR code as well. This is not financial advice. This presentation is for education and entertainment only. There is no offer to buy or sell any security or investment. There's no tax advice, no accounting or legal advice because I can't do that. I'm not licensed. You got to be licensed to do that. You also should be speaking with someone one-on-one. And I'm not. I'm recording a video. So should you seek personalized financial advice, please find a competent individual in your area, preferably someone who is licensed. Spoiler alert, because I know some of y'all have a short attention span. Step 1, be good, get out of debt, or don't ever go into debt. Number 2, save up 3 to 12 months of your expenses, put it in a money market account, and don't touch it unless there is a true emergency, like, I don't know, you're going down the highway and your brakes fall out of the bottom of your car and you need a new brake system. That would constitute an emergency. But your friend's going on vacation to Cancun is not an emergency, right? 3 to 12 months expenses for emergencies only. Then create extra income, carve out some of your income, get a side hustle, start your own business, but do something so that you can put $100 or more each week into the stock market. To start out with, put it in market index funds. SPY, DIA, QQQ, IWM are 4 that I like when I'm recording this video in 2025. While that is growing, learn and practice other exit strategies, and also, while your stock account is growing, learn how to buy a money machine. I'm going to talk about that next. But before I do, this top QR code, the one where green says, that'll take you to Charles Schwab. That is the brokerage account that I use when I'm recording this video, which is April 2025. And I'm there. They've got a good platform, but their charting software is free, or it's included, called Thinkorswim. It needs a lot of updates. The uptime is a lot better, but hey, it's free, right? That's never a bad thing. But that's the one I use. If you want to use what I use, scan that top QR code. All right, the goal here is to build your asset so that you can buy a money machine. A money machine is some type of entity. It could be a business, it could be an apartment complex, it could be an oil rig, but buy a money machine that not only pays you money, but also grows in value while it's paying you money. That's pretty cool. I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. If you already know how to do it, you're total awesome sauce. And if not, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about it. Step 5, achieve your financial dreams and your ideal asset allocation. There's the one that I put. Currently, we are just getting into private equity. We have a pretty good stock portfolio. Well, actually, right now we're in all cash because I did some market analysis and I put it on social media and here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. We got out in January of 25. So right now we have cash allocated for public equities, which are stocks. We've got a lot of real estate and some energy, so we're looking to better balance that out. But that's going to be the goal in a couple of years. And yes, we have invested in some alternatives funds. So once you get that, or even before, you can do this throughout, but give generously to your community. There's 2 types of people that I'm generally helping. Some people make bad choices, and for those people, I want to coach and mentor them and create free videos like this. But some people have no choices. Like when we went to Costa Rica and we built a house for a family in need, those people didn't have any choices. So those people I like giving resources to, whether it's a house or money or clothes or whatever. But give generously. make this world a better place, or else what the heck are we here for? This is the same QR code you saw on 2 slides ago. If you want to join my investor list, scan that. If you want to set up a meeting, let's talk about investing for you, scan that code. All right. Compound interest is something everybody needs to learn about. It is what I think the primary thing that separates the low income people, or excuse me, the low wealth people from the high wealth people. So I like using sunflower seeds for my example. Most people know what sunflowers are. They're delicious. You can eat them or you can plant them and it makes a beautiful sunflower. If you plant one seed in about 60 days in the right climate, you'll have a sunflower and the sunflower will make 30 more seeds. Well, if you plant 30 seeds in about 60 days, you're going to get 30 sunflowers, and 30 sunflowers with about 30 seeds each will get you 900 seeds. Now, let's just say you eat 100 seeds per day. If you eat them, they're all gone in 9 days. But what happens if you plant them, right? If you reinvest? 900 seeds will give you 900 sunflowers, will give you 27,000 seeds. So now if you eat 100 seeds per day, you're going to eat 6,000 and you have 21,000 left over to plant. And if you plant those in 60 days, you'll have 630,000 seeds. If you eat 100 seeds per day, you can consume 6,000 and you have plenty more. As you see, what's going on here is that the sunflowers are growing and making more sunflower seeds faster than you can eat them. That's what retirement is. Retirement is not an age. Retirement is when your money is growing faster than you spend it. This is an example of compound interest. And again, this is one of the most powerful forces in the world. I think Albert Einstein said it's the most powerful force. But this is what separates the haves and the have-nots, is that the haves understand compound interest better. And they know how to use it and make it work for them in their favor. That's what I'm going to show you in this video. But you got to understand compound interest. Financial freedom is when your investments pay you more than your expenses. All right, here's the quote. Albert Einstein said, the most powerful force in the universe. Okay, so even bigger than what I was thinking. The most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. The longer your money grows, the faster it grows. Notice the big key here is longer, the time. Time is the one thing we can't make. We can make more money, but we cannot make more time. The typical long-term stock market average is 10% year over year. So at that rate, your money doubles every 7 years. So I like to, another analogy I use rather than sunflower seeds is planting a tree. So let's say you start off with $100 and you're age 25 and you plant a tree seed in the ground. It's going to take a long time, right, for that seed to germinate, for it to grow, for it to look like anything. But in 7 years, your $100 may grow to $200. In 7 more years, your $200 will grow to $400. And you might be starting to see something that resembles a tree by this time. Maybe your tree is spinning off offshoots, but in another 7 years, 400 doubles to 800. In another 7 years, 800 doubles to 1,600. And in another 7 years, 1,600 will double to 3,200. Notice the little seed that you planted is now a forest. If you put in $100 in the stock market at age 25, and you are one of those that gets 10% year over year, which it doesn't happen like that, right? You've seen the stock market. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. But if you were to get 10% return on investment, you could grow $100 into $3,200 about by the time you're age 60. So a lot of people say that's pretty cool. Well, what if you invested $100 per week? That means when you're 60 years old, you would be getting $3,200 per week. Ooh, that sounds pretty good, right? Well, if you knew you could invest $100 now and later towards your retirement years start receiving $3,200 a week, what would you do? What if you invested earlier? So over Easter, I played violin with a church band, and I played violin in a quartet. There was a 15-year-old young lady there named Lily. What's up, Lily? Hope you're watching this. I admire Lily a lot because not only is she spending a lot of time practicing violin, she's going to high school. She also waits tables. Well, what if Lily takes her $100 or just takes $100 of her tips that she makes a week and puts that in the stock market? She's going to add another 10 years. She's going to get another double and a half on this, right? So instead of investing at age 25, if you started at 15, you'd probably see that Lily's going to end up close to $8,000 when she's 60 years old for every $100 that she puts in. So compound interest is really cool. And then, of course, what I'm trying to do, I don't want my money to double every 7 years. I want it to double every 5 years. Okay. So I'm going to take the time to do that because I think it's pretty cool. If you're 25 years old and you can get your money to double every 5 years, let's say you put in $100 when you're 25. Count it with me. When you're 30, you have 200. 35, you have 400. 40, you have 800. At age 45, you have 1600. At age 50, you would have 3200. At age 55, you would have 6400. At age 60, you would have $12,800. Notice we doubled up every 5 years and every 7 years, and instead of having $3,200 at age 60, we would have $12,800. That's a huge difference. So rate of return matters. I'll tell you how to get that double up every 5 years later in this video. Keep watching. Goal number 1, be good. Get out of debt, because guess what? If you are in debt, then compound interest is working against you. It's like weeds in your sunflower field. And those weeds, you better get out there and pluck them, get them out of the ground, or else they will multiply and they will start growing at a tremendous rate. This is what the credit cards do. The credit card companies and the banks, they want you to pay them compound interest. That's why they lend money to you. So look, be good, get out of debt. Don't even go into debt. This is actually why a lot of people are not going to college, because college is putting people into debt for until they are 45, sometimes 50 years old. College is a lot more expensive now than when I went through. Right? A lot of kids are coming out of school with 100, 150 grand in debt, but their starting salaries are in their 60s and 70s. When I was going through school, my total college costs were about 30 grand, but my starting salary was in the 50s. So it's reversed now. So a lot of kids are going to community schools and saving tens of thousands of dollars. And some folks are going right into a Fortune 500 company, working for a few years, and then the Fortune 500 company will pay for you to go to college for free. So check out all those options if you are going to college, looking to college. Check out those options, because it's much better, in my opinion, to take 6 or 8 years to get through college and not have huge college loans than it is to be in debt until you're 45 or 50 years old. Okay, moving on, because I know some of y'all have short attention span. After you are out of debt, save up an emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months expenses. All right, thank you for my phone for coming alive and talking just now. All right, goal number 2, get a side hustle and make investing money. Folks, look, if you know what your money can double in or what money can grow into if it doubles every 5 or 7 years, what could you do to make $100 per week? Could you mow lawns once a day? Could you pick up a shift at Starbucks once a day? Could you wait tables? Could you, what could you do to make $100, $200, $400 a week and grow it for 35 years? And then imagine every week when you're 60 years old, you got $12,800 coming in. It's possible. It's doable. I'm going to show you how. What is your financial dream? Do you want this little tiny trickle over here on the left, or do you want the abundance, the multiple streams of income, the overflowing, more water than you can drink and shower with and wash your clothes with and your dishes and flush your toilet with and all the silly things we do with clean drinking water in the United States? Do you want this picture on the right or the one on the left? Because spoiler alert, failing to plan is planning to fail. So a respectful challenge. Start asking people, what's your family's financial plan? I think you'll see most people say, what are you talking about? Or I don't have one, or I don't know what that is. And take a look at their lifestyle. Occasionally you'll get with someone that says, yes, we have a financial plan. When can we sit down and talk about it? Notice how those people live, or how they're going to live, and what their future looks like. There will be a difference. All right, so here's a book that had a big impact on my life by Tony Robbins and Christopher Zook called The Holy Grail of Investing. Spoiler alert, I'm going to give you my filtered version of this. The Holy Grail of Investing is to have 8 or more investment choices. And if you do go read this book, I am pulling from other books from Tony Robbins, Ray Dalio, a whole bunch of folks. It's actually a lot more complex than this, but maybe it doesn't need to be. This is my simplified version. You need 8 or more investment choices. Each of these investment choices must be non-correlated with the other 7 or however many you got. Non-correlated means when one goes up, the others you don't know if they're going to go up or down, right? Some people say if stocks go up, bonds will go down. Well, actually, that's kind of not true, especially here recently, because those are both public equities, and 60% of public equities all trend with each other because they are correlated. So find things that are non-correlated. You also want asymmetric risk reward. That means that if you win, you will win a whole lot bigger than if you lose. The upside is bigger than the downside. That is asymmetric risk reward. And you want to diversify. This means you want to vary. You want to change up the types of investments. And you can do that by time. Get into investments that last just a few weeks, maybe a few years, maybe long term, a couple of decades. Look for things that are geographically diverse, different states, regions, different countries, industries. You got different customer groups, different provider groups, different strategies, and on and on and on. But the holy grail of investing, what you need to be shooting for is 8 or more investment choices that are non-correlated, have asymmetric risk reward, and are diversified. The biggest mistake I see is that people get so happy because they have some tech stocks, they have some financial stocks, they have some healthcare stocks, they have some this flavor stocks, that, and they think that they're diversified because they have a bunch of different types of stocks. Well, all of the stocks are correlated. 60 to 80% of the stocks in the market trend with each other. Also, I would argue that asymmetric risk reward is not there. Could be a lot better. Hopefully you're using puts, maybe some calls on top of that to definitely lock in asymmetric risk reward. I will not be talking about stock options on this chart, but yes, I do those. Wealthy families in the United States are allocated like this. 40% or more is real estate. That's their largest allocation. 30% is private equity. That's private businesses, which is different than public equities. Public equity is things on the stock market, bonds, options, Forex, commodities, on and on and on. Futures, 5 to 10% in energy. I like more energy because especially with AI consuming more energy, energy is always going to be in high demand as our population grows. I like energy. And then alternatives is just kind of what we call the rest. That's venture capital, sports teams, metals, cryptocurrencies, and a lot more other stuff. This is why I think after you get in the stock market, because it's got easy access, multifamily real estate should be next. Because according to Tony Robbins and Christopher Zook, tax efficient income, remember income because you're getting income from your money machine, potentially unlimited tax deferral and tax avoidance of all capital gains are precisely why many of nation's wealthiest families are real estate dynasties. It's from a different book. I don't remember which one, but it said that 80% of wealthy families make their wealth through real estate. So yeah, this is where I'm starting, or where I started. I would suggest you start there as well. Public equities, the stock market's the easiest one to get into. So once you get big enough, hit up multifamily real estate. That's the one I like the best. All right, my portfolio goals. Very similar to what I just told you, 40% real estate, 30% equity, 50% in stocks, bonds, options, not bonds, stocks and options, 10% energy, and 5% alternatives. I got a lot of this stuff via a fund. I'm building connections for all of this. So if you had hit that QR code previously or one that's coming up, you can join my list and I will communicate with you about opportunities for you to invest with me on this stuff. All right. Does ROI really matter? Does return on investment? I walked through one earlier that talked about the difference between doubling up every 5 years and every 7 years. But most people are going to be using a financial advisor, or they invest in a they invest with into a 401k or some type of retirement fund that is managed by someone else. And typically those things return a 7% return on investment. I want you to do something with me. I want you to check the numbers. Get your calculator out, please. And type in 50,000 and then times it. Gosh, I just said times it. Multiply by 1.07. This will give you the growth of $50,000, 7%. Year one, you get $53,500. Now, if you grow that at 1.07, just hit it again, you get what you would have at the end of year two. At the end of year three, if you hit it again for year four, and again for year five, and so on and so forth. Keep doing that. I'm going to show you some shortcuts. All right, so at the end of 5 years, you would have $70,000. At the end of 10 years, you'd have $98,000, right? Money's almost doubled up in 10 years. That's not bad. 5 years later, you get $137,951 at the end of year 15. And at the end of year 35, you're going to have a little over $500,000 just by letting that $50,000 grow. Not bad, okay? Not bad if you just put in 50 grand and 35 years later, you're sitting there looking at $500,000. But what happens if you get just the stock market average, which is 10%? Instead of $500,000, you're looking at 1.4 million. That's a big difference. So the red is letting someone invest in the stock market for you and they take their fee. The blue is you investing in the stock market directly via those market indices I talked about, and you get a 10% rate of return, right? And it's not promised that in the future you will get a 10% rate of return over the long run, but over the long run in the past, the stock market has returned 10%. Now, apartments, the reason I chose 14.87% on this one is because that is the return that I look for when I'm investing in apartments, and when I'm bringing investors in to invest in an apartment with me, that's what we look for. Look at this number in the bottom right, 6.4 million. What that means is if you just start off with $50,000, you invest 50 grand and you compound it, you let it grow at 14.87% in 35 years, 50 grand will grow into $6.4 million. Or you put it with the financial advisor and you have $533,000. Are you starting to pick up the difference between the wealthy people and the non-wealthy people? The wealthy people know how to do this stuff in purple. The non-wealthy people know how to do this stuff in red. Now, there's a lot of marketing out there, and you got to find out who is giving you this marketing. When someone says you can't do it, who is saying you can't do it? Who is saying it's too risky for you to invest for yourself? Who's saying that? Is it a really rich person, or is it someone that has some room for financial growth? Who says you shouldn't try to beat the market? Usually the people that say you should not try to beat the market are the ones that want you to pay them to underperform the market. Because realize this 7% category, you are paying someone else to underperform the market. I never understood that. Some people are going to say, I can invest better than you can. Well, if that's true, go do it. What? Go do it. Have fun. And some people are going to say, don't take your money out. Just ride the ups, ride the downs. It always comes back. So far, the market has always come back. I do think it always will come back. Here's the question. Do you have time for it to come back? Spoiler, no, you don't. Because the difference between 10% riding the ups and downs and getting an average of 10% could be taking 50,000 to 1.4 million. Or if you get something more consistent and you get something higher, like 15% or 14.87%, you can end up with more than 4 times that money. Okay, the difference is dramatic. It's huge. Get away from the red. Start with the blue. Learn how to do the purple. All right, goal number 3, save or grow your money so you can buy a $50,000 money machine. Why $50,000? Because that's the minimum for most of these investments. What does buy a money machine strategy look like? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Well, you're welcome, Brad. The apartment buildings that I was looking at a couple of months ago we're giving their investors an 8% cash on cash return with a 2x multiplier in 5 years. Those returns are higher now. Okay, so this is completely doable in most any markets. Right now, we're very favorable for multifamily apartments, and I'm glad I have some. If you do this, so you put in 50,000 once, and you're not active, you're not running the deal. Someone else is running the deal, right? You put in $50,000, someone else runs the deal, they hit their commitments, and then they start writing you checks. Year one, if they do accelerated depreciation, you got to talk to your accountant, but you could get potentially massive tax write-offs. If they hit 8% cash on cash return, you will get a check for $4,000 every year, probably $1,000 every quarter for 4 years. Year 5, you're going to get $84,000. Okay, $84,000. You're saying, Brad, I put in $50,000. How am I get $84,000 back? That's why it's a money machine, folks. That's why you got to learn this stuff. It's amazing. You get cash every quarter, sometimes every month, but at least every year, and you end up with way more money than you started with. Now, let's say you, instead of spending this cash that you got each year, you saved it up and you reinvested again. Now you're going in for $100,000. Maybe you're buying 2 different apartment buildings at this time. Maybe you're buying just one and putting in $100,000. You're going to get even more potentially massive tax benefits. Now you're going to get $8,000 per year for 4 years. And in year 5, you're going to get $168,000. Folks, this is why I love this stuff. Rinse and repeat over and over and over and over again. How much time do you have? Remember that thing on that compound interest slide earlier? I said time is your ally. And Eric, thank you for talking me into doing this video and asking me about it, because for those of you that are in your late teens or early 20s, you have time to take $50,000 and turn it into this massive gargantuan amount down here in the bottom right that's covered up by one of my toolbars that you can't see. But here's the point. You can take $50,000 and turn it into $256,000 of income per year. And what if you take this $50,000 and you put in $50,000 when, I don't know, you're 25 years old or 30 years old. And then you do it again when you're 35 years old. And then you do it again when you're 40 years old. And then 42 years old. And then 44, age 45. You start doing this yearly. If you can figure out how to get $50,000, it can grow and it can cover your retirement. Folks, this is my retirement down in here. My goal is to have a bunch of these money machines spinning off 6 figures every year. And then we can retire. Then our money will be growing faster than we spend it. And if y'all understand inflation, the cost of living goes up every year. But my nest egg, my income will be going up every year also. That's why I love this stuff. Hopefully you're getting it. Knowing this, could you find a side hustle that'll make $10,000 per year after taxes, right? So maybe that's $2,000 a week before taxes, $2,000 a week after taxes. Can you do that? If not, fine. Do the other one where you put in $100 a week and grow it. When you get to 50 grand, then start doing this. I think you'll find that that's not soon enough. If you're married, can you live off of one spouse's income and invest the rest? Can you retire way sooner than age 67? I plan to. But knowing this information, knowing how $100 can grow into $3,200 or $12,000 a week, knowing how $50,000 can turn into $128,000 a year or $256,000 a year, what will you do to make this a possibility? Achieve your financial dreams. Give generously to your community. Live it. It's there. It's right on the screen in front of you. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Okay, hopefully I got the mute button, didn't just cough in your ear. Folks, if you want to invest in apartments with me, scan that QR code, get on my list. If you are not ready right now to invest in apartments, scan the code, get on my list. I don't care if you're 20 years away. If you want to work with me on how to do this for you, I want to work with you. Again, $50,000 is the typical minimum. Cash is king, But if you do have it in a retirement account, like a self-directed IRA or a Roth IRA, um, we can do that. If you have an old company 401k that you can roll into a new 401k, spoiler alert, at least with the tax code right now, you can avoid paying UBIT, unrelated business income tax. The reason I did not go into early, some of y'all are say, Brad, you should have told them what a Roth IRA is. Roth IRAs right now are pretty awesome, especially for you young folks, because your money will grow. You pay taxes on it now, but you do not pay taxes on it when you take it out. But those rules are changing all the time. So talk to your financial advisor, talk to a licensed expert that can help you pick what's best for you, because the rules are changing all the time. All right. Also, these apartments are for sophisticated investors only. If you are not an accredited investor, which again, those rules change, but right now it's about you have $1 million net worth or $300K per year income if you're married for 2 years. If you are not accredited, you and I have to have several conversations, and I have to believe that you're a sophisticated investor. If you are accredited, then we can go right now and get you into 506c syndications. I got 1, 2 ready to go right now that I'm recording this presentation. President Trump just came into office. The last time he was in office, he said that he was going to create a test so that investors could gain accredited status in his last term. If that happens, everyone, you should go figure out how you can study for this test, take this test, and pass it, because folks that are accredited have a whole lot more access to these purple returns up over here. These types of returns, you just got to be accredited. I do have a few opportunities for non-accredited, but yeah, if you're accredited, this gets way easier. So if you can take a test and get access, do it. You must talk to your accountant to understand tax implications and also potential benefits. I am not a tax expert. I'm not a legal expert. And I have to tell you, I'm not an investment professional, even though I think my investments make more than most investment professionals, but I cannot advise you. All right. I cannot sit down with you and get your personal landscape and tell you how I think you should invest, but I will tell you how I invest. Should you seek all this, want all this, go seek a licensed professional that can advise you. All investing has risk. There are some companies out there that actually are able to say that their investments are guaranteed. I don't believe it, but all investing has risk. And folks, crazy stuff happens in investing. Just recently, there was a major city in the United States that caught on fire, and the government turned off the water to the fire hydrants. The government turned away water-filled fire trucks from other places because they were not CO2 compliant. They were not emissions compliant, and they just let the city burn. That happened. Also, in the last couple of years, gangs from foreign countries came into the United States and took over apartment buildings and took all of the rents and did not give the landlords anything. And for weeks, the government did not do anything. What if interest rates skyrocket and you have a variable interest loan? That's not good. What happens if 2008 happens again? Well, the beauty about 2008, it was temporary. So if you had the right kind of loan, you just operated your apartment through it and collected rents and then sold it when everything came back. What if the government tells tenants that they don't have to pay rent and you can't evict them? That happened. All I'm saying is crazy stuff happens. All investing has risk. But remember when we were talking about planting sunflower seeds earlier, don't just do one. Do many of these. Some of these are going to do better than you expect. Some are going to do worse than you expect. Diversification, non-correlation, asymmetric risk reward is the key on how you get this done. Okay, actions to take. We're getting close to the end. Goodness gracious, 35 minutes. I hope you sped it up and put this on super fast speed. Actions to take. Number 1, be good. Get out of debt. Do not go into debt if you can avoid it at any cost. With the rare exception of that you're getting a mortgage for a house. If you can pay 20% down payment and get a loan for 80% of the value of the house, that one I'm okay with. Save up to 3 to 12 months expenses. Put it in a money market account. Don't touch it. If you are new to the stock market, find a way to get $100 or more a week and put it in the stock market via SPY, DIA, QQQ, or IWM. These are, in my opinion, the best market index funds as of April 2025. I don't know what's going to be the best market funds when you come to do this. Scan this top QR code to open a stock trading account where I do my stock trading. Yeah, they'll send me a little thank you. Learn and practice exit strategies, how to sell high. Spoiler alert, I will have videos coming soon on how to do that. And while you're going to the stock account, learn about buying a money machine. Yes, I will have video. I already have videos about that. Find those. Look at my YouTube channel, Brad N. Reed YouTube channel. When you have greater than $50,000, buy a money machine. Notice I said greater than 50. You have to decide if that's $50,000 and a penny, or if you have closer to $100,000, $150,000. I think that's a better time to buy a money machine. You decide what's right for you. Learn about different asset classes for your next money machine, because once you get your money machine, do it again. Achieve your financial dreams and achieve your ideal asset allocation, whatever that is. Pretty sure as times change, markets change, the economy changes, my ideal asset allocation will change, and I will change it accordingly. Folks, be a good person. Give generously to your community. This is where you're going to learn to be happy. This is where happiness comes from, by giving and helping other people. Yeah, well, I guess that's it. That's anticlimactic ending to the video, but that's it. If you want to join my investor list, scan this QR code. If you want to see more of my videos, go to YouTube and do a search for videos by Brad N. Reed, B-R-A-D, the letter N like November, R-E-E-D. And folks, no matter how you invest your time or your love or your money or your energy, always invest on logic, not on hope. God bless you.